Hello and welcome to Crouton Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Valentine's Day heart-shaped twister pinwheel wall hanging. This is a great little project to use up some of those pinks in your stash. You don't need a whole lot of fabric for this. This is a super fun and simple little design to make. It is a little bit time consuming because you are sewing this together twice, but the results are definitely worth it. So for this project, you're going to need 5 different colors or shades of pink here. These are kind of range from a medium light to a medium dark, and it is 5 different patterns here. Each one of these is 1/6 of a yard. You could also use a fat quarter for each one of these. Alternatively, you could use a charm pack as well, since we're going to be doing 5-inch squares here for this. But you will need a 1/6 of a yard of 5 different fabrics. You'll also need 2/3 of a yard of a background fabric, which I am using white, which is this one right here. You'll also need 1/2 of a yard for your border fabric, which I'm going to do this pink right here. I will also do 1 yard of this for my backing, 1 yard of batting, and 4 yards of a binding material. You'll also need a rotary mat, rotary cutter, ruler, of course sewing machine and thread. And you will also need this, which is a twister template. You can buy these if you want, or you can make one yourself. I'm going to go ahead and do a video that shows how I make these, or make just a regular template or square into a twister template, and I will put a link to that video down below. I will also, down in the more information box description underneath the video, put a list of all of the fabrics and measurements that you will need, as well as the full cutting list and everything else like that. To get started here, you're going to need 34 5-inch squares. You will also need 15 5-inch squares of your background fabric, and you will also need 3 3-inch by 40, 42, 44, whatever it is, full-length strips of your backing fabric to go around the outside. So now we can go to our design wall and we can set these up. So now that you've got all of your squares and your strips cut out, it is time to arrange these on your design wall. I don't have a design wall, so I am just using a flannel sheet that I have pinned up to my wall here. And you want to start laying out your squares in your heart shape here. The way this works is you're going to have 7 rows here. On the top row, it's going to be your background color, a pink square, another background, pink, pink, and background. Your second, third, and fourth rows here are all going to be pink. Your, what row is this? 5th row is going to be a background, 5 pinks and a background. Your second to bottom is going to be 2 background squares, 3 pink squares, 2 background squares, and your very bottom row is going to be 3 background squares, a pink square, and then 3 more background squares. Now what you want to do is go through and piece these all together. Use whatever piecing technique that you like. I like doing chain piecing. It makes it quick, easy work of this. Just go through, sew your rows together. Make sure when you're going through here to iron your seams, all going in opposite directions. So when you join them, they kind of nestle together. That way you get nice sharp points throughout this. But you just want to go through and sew all of this together. Then you want to go ahead and add on your strips. You want to add 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom. Go ahead and trim those even with the sides, and then you want to take the other 2 strips and sew those along the sides. So that way you have a 2.5-inch border all around your main center part there that contains your heart. And then go ahead and give this one final press. Make sure that all of your seams are going in the direction that you want them to. Make sure that they're laying nice and flat, so that way it'll be nice and easy to cut. And then we can start cutting this apart. So we've got this all sewn together, and now it is time to cut it apart. We're going to cut all of our hard work here, but don't worry, it's going to be worth it. Now, here is my template here, and I've got my black lines. The black lines are the ones that I'm going to use. What you want to do is line up these black lines, and this intersection, this cross in the center here, you want to put it on the intersection of your blocks here. This is the edge here, obviously, so this line is not going to be on a seam, but that's okay. And you want to put this down like this, and using your rotary cutter, you want to go through and cut on both sides here. Now this is kind of wonky. Sorry if the sound is moving too. Now when you cut this, do not go past your 3.5 inch mark here. When you go cutting here, there's not a whole lot of room to go beyond your square, and you don't want to cut into the block that you're going to cut out next. So we've got these two done. Now you want to take your template and turn it around, line it back up, and your tape lines here, you should line those up with the cuts that you just made. Get that in there. Cut this out. Don't go past too far where you cut. It'd help if I cut that straight. There you go. Go ahead and remove that. And here is your block that you have cut out. Now, when you go to put these back on your design wall, you're going to turn these. You want to turn them this way, counterclockwise. And then you want to go ahead and put this on your design wall before you cut out the next square, because you don't want to get these mixed up. Now, once you get all of your blocks cut out, you want to go ahead and lay them up on your design wall, making sure that all of your pinwheels are going in the same direction. Sometimes you'll get a block that gets turned the wrong way, and your pinwheel, they won't line up. Make sure before you sew this together that they are all, in fact, going the direction that they need to be going. Again, just like we did with the 5-inch squares, you want to chain piece these together. Go ahead and sew all the pieces together into rows, and then sew the rows together. And then once you get that all sewn together, just go through, make sure that everything is pressed nicely, and then you can go ahead and test out your different borders. I did a finished 3/4 inch dark pink border all the way around, and then on the outside of that, the pieced border, it is 2-inch squares to make a finished 1.5 inch square. And I pieced those together all separately. There is 152 squares that are individually pieced on the outside border for my wall hanging that you see here. And then you can go ahead and finish this off like you normally would for any wall hanging. You want to sandwich this with your batting and background fabric. Quilt that all together. Go ahead and add a binding. As you can see, mine is not finished. I had a mishap with my quilting foot. So excuse the unfinished project in the pictures. I'm sorry about that. But there you go. There is a twisting pinwheel Valentine's Day wall hanging for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, be sure to give a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.